how is assessment tied into learning outcomes? What we have to understand is, in terms of the role of learning outcomes, is that they tell us where we're going, where we want to go. Why do we have assessment? Well, we want to know if we're on the right track, and assessment will tell us if we got to where we wanted to go. But the assessment of learning outcomes has shades of quality. You can have low quality assessments, and you can have high quality assessments. What determines the quality is basically the data. One, if you have data. Two, if that data is concentrated, focused, in terms of telling us a complete picture of what we want to learn. And basically, in this case, we want the data to tell us about student learning in all its aspects. So we get into the quality of data. There are certain parameters, or there are certain components that are involved here. Of the four, one is that it be based on student work. Second, it be triangulated. The third, if it's comparable. And the fourth, if it's longitudinal. Let's try and understand the quality of data that's related here in terms of student outcomes. When we assess student work, the student work that we should assess should be authentic, which is the best quality of data we can have of student work. By authentic means if it's related to the real world. Type of works that are associated with problems that are being solved, student work that's associated with case studies. These are the types of student works that are high quality, because they are related to authentic situations in real world situations. And naturally, the student work should be progressive. When understanding that student work in the initial phases of our academic programs will reflect a lower level of mastery than the student work that should be demonstrated when they're finishing our academic programs. The student work that is submitted, that we're analyzing, should be triangulated. Students should be submitted to varied types of work, so that we can see if a student is able to demonstrate that mastery from different perspectives. And also the same work can be presented to the student within different contexts to see if there is mastery of that knowledge, skills, and attitudes in different contexts. Student work has to be comparable. We have to understand that there are different levels of execution, and we should be able to distinguish different levels of execution. To be able to distinguish different levels of execution, we would need rubrics and checklists to let us understand when a student work is initial, when it's in progress, and where mastery is demonstrated and exemplary work is presented. Now, we should be able to distinguish between the work that one student submits that is very shoddy, and one that it demonstrates a lot of care, and that was taken into the preparation of that student work. So we should be able to compare one work with another, and we should be able to compare the works in different levels of execution. And for that, again, we need high quality rubrics and checklists. And of course, the best type of data that we can have is longitudinal data. So we've been able to see the student when they come in, and as they progress with us, we should be able to see the strengths and weaknesses, to be able to identify those weaknesses and to raise red flags, to be able to provide extra resources to develop the student in his weaknesses, to be able to overcome those weaknesses. We should be able to see the student as the student is with us in our academic programs, again, to be able to raise red flags So the data should not only be gathered at the end where a problem is identified but not solvable, against a problem that is presented and solvable because the data came in on time. So to summarize, learning outcomes need to be assessed, and naturally the assessments that we are developing should be guided by the type of learning outcomes that we have established for our programs.